Welcome to HBCU 101.
I had all the no's, but I got that one I didn't give up.
Spelman's in the building.
Drum major for Morehouse's House of Funk.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to HBCU 101. I am your host, Jalil Thurman. HBCU 101 is a show that will take you all over the world, give me the ins and outs of HBCUs with a little taste of their HBCU flavor. On today's episode, we take you all the way up to Delaware State University as we talk with the former Miss DSU. But before we dive into that, let's check out our HBCU news and see what's buzzing in our community.
Hey, Jalil, what's going on, man? Some big news coming out of the CIAA. There will be no basketball season this year, which means there will be no CIAA tournament for the first time since its inception in 1946. It was destined for a new home this year in Baltimore, Maryland, but due to COVID-19, there will be no tournament, no season. I had a chance to catch up with CIAA Commissioner Jackie McWilliams earlier this week.
There are some stipulations now that are happening in the state of Maryland, as you see in North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, and this is where our schools, this is where they reside. And so based on what we know, based on what we're forecasting, we're not sure, even though we have a vaccine that we'll see, when we will even have access to it, could we be ready in January and February? And with what we know right now, we won't be ready.
So I can't really say that I'm surprised. I don't think anyone could honestly say they were surprised, but everyone a little disappointed. No basketball this year in the CIAA, but vaccine is here. Maybe some good decisions in the year to come, and we can return to hoops next year. Hey, happy holidays to you and everyone out there. Let's get back to more of HBCU 101 with Jalil Thurman.
Those that went to college with her know her for being the face of the university, while many know her today for taking the media industry by storm. HBCU 101 is honored to sit down with Delaware State University alumna, speaker, actress, founder of HBCU to Hollywood, and award-winning broadcast journalist, Jamila Mustafa.
Thank you so much, Jalil. That was an incredible intro. And I love Mustafa. And I was waiting. Oh, man, incredible. Thank you so much for having me. Congratulations to everything that you've been able to accomplish and the entire HBCU 101 team. I'm really excited for today's chat. I've been waiting on this one.
Nah. I appreciate you. I'm excited. I love talking HBCUs. As an HBCU alum, I know you love talking HBCUs. So let's get right to it. You're a Hornet from Delaware State University. You're also from Delaware. Why did you decide to stay home in state, and why Delaware State?
Well, I tell people often Delaware State chose me. So okay. I think one thing I want to get clear is that it's not Wilmington. Delaware is the second smallest state, right? And so you would assume that, people know about the local colleges. You've been there, growing up in high school, you probably went to a play there or a show. It wasn't the case for me, especially. And a lot of people who actually are from Wilmington, Delaware, believe it or not, Philadelphia is closer. It takes about an hour to get to Dover. So prior to me actually attending Delaware State, I'd never even been to Dover. So for me, it was really a new experience. But how I got to that selection is that, what we had the conversation and what we're talking about is my interest, my career path, and what I'm destined to do. And I've known that since I was about 6 or 7 professionally in my career when I was 8. And so that's always been a focus. So really, Del State chose me. It wasn't a lot of schools that I was even accepted to, right? I represent a particular unique realm of just students, right, who may not know exactly which schools they want to go to, right. But they know that they want to further their education. And so when it came time for me to graduate Performing Arts High School that I went to from 6th grade to 8th grade, I re-auditioned from 9th grade to 12th grade. There's only 12 people accepted in a dance program, less than 100 people in my graduating class. So this was really a art school that really catered toward the development of your arts. And so it was really a difference different, a different decision I even made to go to college. And then let alone, I was like, look, if I can get into Del State, not only am I going to go there, but I'm going to change the trajectory and really how people look at it in my experience. So I was really excited that Del State chose me.
Okay. Now, your experience was one that was unique. I think you were able to really change how people looked at Delaware State, how they looked at you. I mean, you were Miss Delaware State University. That in itself is an honor. And not many people have that opportunity. What was that like for you? And how did that really put the cherry on the top for your experience as a Hornet?
It was part of the plan, simple and plain.
Okay.
When it comes to those kind of things, whenever I'm a part of something, I never look at it for what it could do for me. Like I said before, I wasn't accustomed to that culture. Most people that run, as you know, they'll run for Miss Freshman, Miss Sophomore, Miss Junior. And then it's like they're, especially in campaign, I waited all my life, kind of like all my life type of thing. I've wanted this so bad. And I couldn't relate to that. The only time I ran for a crown was Miss Delaware State. Prior to that, I ran for Miss Delaware Teen Essence. I did Miss America pageants. So I knew that when it was time for me to step into that role, that's how I had to come into it. And I never really wanted it, right? Meaning wanted it as in what it could do for me. Right. I always looked at it as I know what I'm going to accomplish. I know my determination and what kind of queen I was without the crown. I always represent my invisible crown. And so if I can just get the student body to see that they have invisible crowns, you don't have to necessarily be a part of certain organizations or do certain things on campus or fit a certain box, right? Yeah. Whether that's personality, socially, or academically, be who you are and know what you have to offer. So my campaign was really like straight up. This is the kind of person I am. This is what I want to accomplish. I want to be the first Miss Delaware State to go to that pageant and place top 5. I want to be the first Miss Delaware State to go international as a student. This is what I want to do. I'm not here to tell you how bad I want it. Everybody wants something. I want $1 million. And I bet that you want free tuition. But let me tell you what I'm going to do with this crown. Let me tell you the path that I want to lay out. And that was really how I approached, the students. And that was really my reasoning for running. And on top of that, my parents didn't really I didn't really, financially, meaning, of course I would want to, have my senior year paid for, all the perks that come with getting that crown. Why wouldn't you want to take advantage of that opportunity? Yeah. Right. And of course, so I was no fool. I went for everything that I could do. And I really maximized my experience as a student.
Now, interesting enough that's where you ended. You went for everything that you knew and everything that you wanted. And you did not just do that at Delaware State, but you did that with your career. But we're not going to talk about it right now. We're actually going to dive into that after the break. It's Jalil. It's Jamila. You guys stay tuned. We'll be right back. It's HBCU 101.
HBCU 101. Welcome back to HBCU 101.
Welcome back to HBCU 101. I am Jalil, and we have Hornet Nation in the building. Miss Mustafa. Let's go trivia. Before we even dive into your career, let's do some trivia for you. North Carolina has a lot of HBCUs. What North Carolina HBCU was founded first?
North Carolina has the most HBCUs. I don't think it's a lot. I think they have the most. Most people think it's North Carolina A&T, but it's not.
Okay.
I believe that it's, and I'm bad with the words. Could it be Central? Isn't there
It is not Central.
Okay.
It is actually Shaw.
Okay, Shaw University. Okay.
Shaw University.
Shoot, okay. That's a bummer. Okay.
Your career got started as young as 8. By 11, you were doing things for the Philadelphia Eagles. And on campus, you had your hands in any and everything. And then, of course, post-grad, you really took over with doing things for the Advocate. What has those experiences been like for you?
I think performing arts and entertainment has been, like you said, Jalil, has been a part of my life since I was younger. And I think they've been very helpful in really shaping my career. Any stage of my life and every stage of my life, I've always inserted entertainment. So like you said, whether that was middle school and high school, going to a performing arts school, graduating, while I'm in high school, still doing things like Philadelphia Eagles Kids Club, to acting. My senior year in high school is when I won Miss Teen Essence USA, went to Delaware State, figured out how can I get involved on campus, not just socially and in SGA, but on WDSU TV. And I've had different guests, so many guests come on the show, and then kind of using that platform to start my own with The Advocate, and doing that and using that experience to kind of cultivate what I could see myself doing. So The Advocate was interviews, it was live events, it was sit down, it was hosting. You never knew. It was kind of like a variety show for entertainment community, and being an advocate for something and highlighting people that were doing things. And then using that platform as really a gateway and an eye opener to what I could do professionally in a big realm like BET, like MTV, like ESPN, like iHeart, like Fox, and the list goes on. And so, yeah, I think that experience was really the start. And no matter what I do, entertainment is going to be a part of it. And so is acting. I never stopped being an actress since I started when I was 8 years old. And so hosting, philanthropy, speaking, all of those things are different forms of acting. And then when I do a little TV show in between or a commercial, that's the cherry on top. But most people know I never stopped taking classes. So I'm always a student to the game, even when I'm not at Del State.
I have to commend you on that. Keeping your iron sharp. Now, you've done everything from BET to MTV, ESPN, just everything. And so would you just say that those opportunities at such a young age and throughout molded you to be prepared for all of those that have come recently and those that are up to come up?
Absolutely. I always say what doesn't fold you will only mold you. And so I've learned so much from the things that I've had great success at. But what really has molded me were the things that I failed at, like that excellent quote that you gave on success and failure and how to process it. So I would say those failures or those no's are those she's going to be great later on, or she's too young, or we don't really get her, right? Like the energy, I know I'm different, right? And I embrace it. And so it was those no's that really molded me to be confident, because I knew I was different. And every single person that said yes to me, every person that gave me a chance, that was really just the fire I needed. Because I can have a billion no's. All I need is one yes. That's always how I operated. That's what I tell everybody. Don't focus on getting 1,000, because all you need is one opportunity, and one person can change your life. And if you look at that, man, it's like, shoot, I'll keep going. If all I got to do is get one. So and then after I get that one, it's another one and another one, like DJ Khaled. So then I'm like, oh, I need one more. And then before you know it, I got 100 of them. And that's been my mindset and my trajectory.
Got you. And you've actually taken that same mindset to create a platform that really pushed mass communication majors to understand what life is like after college, which is HBCU to Hollywood. But we won't talk about that now. We'll do that after break. It's HBCU 101. It's Jamila. You guys stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's Jaleel.
It's time now for Did You Know, brought to you by HBCU Pride Nation. Did you know that there are 4 medical HBCUs? There's Meharry Medical College in Nashville, Charles R. Drew School of Medicine and Science in California, the Morehouse School of Medicine in Atlanta, and the Mecca, Howard University School of Medicine in D.C.
HBCU 101. Welcome back to HBCU 101.
Welcome back to HBCU 101. It's Jamila, it's Jaleel, it's the J&J here, and it's HBCU 101. Now, Jamila, before we left on a break, you talked a little bit about it briefly, and then I brought it back to the people. HBCU to Hollywood. What is that platform? Why did you create it? Explain it to the world.
So 2016, I graduated 2015, and immediately, right, I was like, I knew in school, I said, how come we don't see a lot of my peers that are doing successful things that we hear about? We see them on the blogs, we read about them, but how come we don't see them? It was such a gap in age, right?
Gotcha.
And I think that no matter what age you are, your accomplishments don't age. Accomplishments are timeless, whether you achieved them when you were 10 or when you were 110. So, never taking anything away. But like I said before, visibility is something about being able to see someone and touch someone that's your age. And so for me, HBCU to Hollywood, immediately when I graduated and I was able to get my foot in the door solid from already, graduating and losing every opportunity that I had because I felt ill, because I overworked myself. And then I even realized life is really hard. I don't think my fellow mass comm students, I was like, my fellow mass comm students really don't know that what we're learning and what they're telling us we need, most of them don't have a reel. I'm like, we're focused on a resume, but everywhere I go, they keep asking for a reel. You know what? And then people started saying, how did you get to be, how did you? And I said, I'm gonna stop it all. I'm not gonna wait 10 years or 5 years even for me to go and accomplish so much and then come back. I'm gonna do it right now.
Right.
And at that time, I didn't have it was a few schools. LU, Missouri was one of my first schools that I went to for homecoming. I had some schools that kind of could see down the road that she's going to be really influential for HBCUs. And so HBCU to Hollywood really started off independently. Me just going to these HBCUs in different platforms, right? In different avenues. So sometimes I would be a host, right? And I would go and I would inspire them through hosting and showing them that skill and that you can actually do this skill outside of your university. Or I would go and I would speak to the women about leadership, right? And about being a queen. Maybe I would focus just on the leaders, about how to take leadership, not only in your university or your college, but make that leadership effective around your community, right? So if you go to Virginia State, what are you doing in the community of Virginia? If you're going to Howard, how can you spread out that leadership into the streets of Howard? And so DC. And so that was really what HBCU to Hollywood started as, and it had nothing to do with me being a talent and wanting to go to Hollywood or being Hollywood. The premise of HBCU to Hollywood means from your HBCU seat, you can go anywhere.
Right.
From an HBCU, you can go anywhere. But when people talk about dream big, they always talk about Hollywood or that. So it's really just a metaphor for following your dreams.
Yeah.
Aim to be significant, not famous.
I want to say thank you for creating the HBCU to Hollywood platform, because as a mass communications major, I definitely understand how difficult it is, to chase your dreams life after college. People don't really talk about that. Now, in your life after college, you've been able to build a lot of relationships and have many different accolades. I mean, from your relationships with Forbes to being the youngest commencement speaker at Bennett College. What can we actually expect next from you? What can we see in the future?
Yes, absolutely, Brother Jalil. And what's next for me is sky's the limit, really diving into more hosting, broadcast journalists, acting, continuing with my classes, taking on that next platform, mentorship. I want to make more time to mentor on a personal level, since I know we are still kind of closed up and it's still in this social distancing aspect. I don't want to stop really doing mentorship. So, the new radio show and so much more of these projects that I have, the new TV shows, the new seasons that you guys are able to tune in and watch. So really sky's the limit. And I'm really excited about what's next to unfold.
But you know what I do want to dive into before we let you go? I got 5 on it.
I got 5 on it.
Pew. And so I got 5 on it is where we choose this or that or who or what you may have 5 on. Okay? So let's keep it simple. As an award-winning broadcast journalist, you've talked to many different people. You've had many, various conversations. If you had to choose 5 on who you would love to have your next conversation with, would it be Oprah or would it be Felicia Rashad?
It would be Mike Tyson.
You choosing Mike?
Yeah, I like, I would want to talk to them both. I can't choose between those two, so I got to throw another one in there for you.
I got you. That's understandable. That was a doozy. So another one. I'm gonna give you another tough one. Would it be if a music artist you would love to talk to? Would it be Yolanda Adams or Toni Braxton?
Probably Toni Braxton.
Okay.
Toni Braxton. Yolanda, listen, all I need to do is play Yolanda. She told me everything I need to know. She talked to me here. And Toni is so, I love Toni as well. Her songs, man, take this word off to, just Toni, her what she's been able to accomplish. I would just want to just talk to Toni. It's got a reality show with the family. What's going on, Toni? Yolanda Adams, I just play her, man. She's for the soul.
Nah, I got you. Now, before we let you go, please let the people know where they can find you, how they can keep up with everything that you got going on.
Well, hey guys, thank you so much, and big shout out to HBCU 101. I'm your girl, Jamila Mustafa, and you guys can keep up with me daily on social media. I'm at JMedia_ on Instagram, at JMedia_ on Twitter, and Jamila Mustafa on Facebook and LinkedIn. Thank you guys so much for rocking out with your girl. Big shout out to HBCUs.
Hey, say no more. It is Jalil, it's Jamila. You guys stay tuned. It's HBCU 101. We'll be right back.
Health is wealth. It's time for your HBCU Wall Street 101s. December is HIV/AIDS Awareness Month, and here is a reminder to choose less risky sexual behaviors. HIV is mainly spread through unprotected sex without a condom or without taking medicines to prevent or treat HIV.
HBCU 101. Welcome back to HBCU 101.
The Wear Brim Spotlight this week falls on Shay Sheezy Stallworth. She's a beauty professional that specializes in luxury hair care. She began her journey servicing her classmates on the campus of Tuskegee over a decade ago. Now living in Atlanta, she provides service to celebrities, Atlanta's top career women, and socialites. Shay's work can be seen on red carpets across the country, including the Grammys. She recently purchased her first salon in the city called the Prissy Palace. If you know someone who should be in the Wear Brim Spotlight like Shay Stallworth from Tuskegee, email us at info@hbcu101.com.
And that's it for today's episode of HBCU 101. I want to send a special thank you and shout out to Miss Jamila Mustafa for stopping by and giving us the scoop on everything from her career, from Delaware State, to what we can expect next. For the entire crew, I am your host, Jalil Thurman, and I'll see you next week.